Nell Noddings defines education as a constellation of encounters, both planned and unplanned, that promote growth through the acquisition of knowledge, skills, understanding, and appreciation. Thinking of the countless instances of socialization that comprise who we are as people helped me form the three main ambitions I hope to realize as I grow into my role as a teacher. Firstly, I consider education as the basis of social reform and transformation, and I will work towards seeing this reflected in schools and classrooms. Secondly, I believe in demonstrating care for each learner and breaking through barriers that stand in the way of social and educational justice. Thirdly, that I find a way to balance my students' individual learning needs with that of the Australian curriculum, while fostering a love of learning. If education is a constellation of encounters, I hope to be party to creating something truly spectacular for each of my students. So what is the purpose of education to me? John Dewey referred to schools as a miniature community, an embryonic society, which would prepare students to function in the challenging and rapidly changing society that exists outside. It is astonishing to think that the positive changes we make within our schools will ripple outwards and shape future reforms in Australian society. Building on this idea, Paulo Freire's epistemology emphasises the transformative nature of education and the practice of freedom as opposed to social reproduction of established values, which value mythical norms. We must encourage our students to think critically, creatively, and reflectively about our reality so they may participate in the transformation of their world. My educational philosophy has incorporated elements from both philosophers, as I believe education is a means for both positive social reform and transformation, building towards a more inclusive, knowledgeable, and hopeful society. So how do I think educators should approach learning? To work effectively with heterogeneous learners, we must be able to break down the barriers to social justice. These barriers are comprised of concepts which are learned through socialization and socializing agencies. Our approach to learning must incorporate an awareness of these concepts, so we may teach our students to see through them. Bell Hooks advocates for a pedagogy focused on teaching students to think critically and creatively about forms of difference, counteracting the hidden curriculum which places the greatest value on the cultural capital held by dominant homogenous social groups. To work effectively with diverse learners, my pedagogical approach will place emphasis on caring, critical thinking, relevance, and reflection, so that every single student will feel included, valued, respected, and safe to express themselves. Creating and maintaining safe learning environments is a fundamental standard for all Australian teachers. I will avoid using deficit discourses and employ teaching strategies which use inclusive content, activities and resources which are applicable and represent the varied socio-cultural experiences of my students. Parker Palmer wrote something that truly resonated with me, and that is, we are here not only to transform the world, but also to be transformed. I want my students to celebrate difference and view it as an indispensable source of learning, which I believe is crucial for individual and social growth. So, what curriculum should we teach? We must find a balance between the Australian curriculum and the individual learning needs of our students, so each learner is engaged with the content in a way that animates them, builds trust, and is the key to meaningful and lasting learning. Knowing my students and how they learn will allow me to straightforwardly seek feedback and reflect on my work to gauge the effectiveness of my teaching strategies. As Parker Palmer advocates, I hope to practice a relationship-centered pedagogy, to build relationships with students, teachers, parents, and communities through genuine care and trust, nurturing dispositions that view learning as an enriching and lifelong love. So what is my educational philosophy? I envision a future where social justice is the norm, not just an idyllic goal we're persistently reaching for, and I hope that our generation of teachers are able to witness this becoming a reality.